We're closing in here on the start of the 2022 football season. Hi, Sean Callahan with Husker Online, here with ABM as we continue our in-depth look at this 2022 Nebraska football team. And today we've got a group of young offensive players, 3 true freshmen, 1 redshirt freshman joining us here as we talk some football. Freshman running back Ajay Allen out of Louisiana, freshman quarterback Richard Torres out of San Antonio. To go Richie or Richard?
Richard's fine.
Richard, okay. I'm making sure I get that right.
Yeah.
And then freshman offensive lineman Justin Jenkins out of New Jersey, and then redshirt freshman Heinrich Haarberg out of Kearney Catholic. Guys, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, yeah, each of you guys have your own unique story, how you got to Nebraska. You're from all over the country, as I mentioned, Texas, Louisiana, New Jersey, and Kearney, Nebraska. I just want to go around the table and let each of you guys kind of tell your journey, tell your path, how you got to Nebraska, why you picked Nebraska. Ajay, why don't you start us off?
Yeah, so like I said, me and Applewhite had a great relationship with each other. So, when he didn't have a job, he was texting me every day. And so he got here. He told Coach Frost about me like the first day he got here. And Coach Frost called me, we locked in, so.
Now, you were committed to TCU at one point, and I mean, they obviously probably still wanted to keep you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Coach Applewhite was a big reason. What was it about him that had you follow him to Nebraska?
Yes, sir. When he didn't have a job at TCU anymore, he used to call me every day, make sure I'm all right, just like a father to me, so, yeah.
How about you, Richard? Tell your story and kind of how Nebraska got on the radar for you and how you ended up here.
So about a year ago, I got a text from my buddy Chris. He really helped me out with recruiting and everything. And he was like, Nebraska's going to offer you. And I was like, wow, that's big. He had mentioned that Coach Frost was big on my radar. He was like really looking at me. And so that's how it really came about for me. And then he got me in contact with Tommy Armstrong too. And, Tommy's from San Antonio. So we just chatted up, hit it up, and it was cool from there.
I still remember you on that official visit. You were here, and you could just see the look in your eyes, and I could just tell. Like, I know you had some other trips after Nebraska, like, this guy's going here. I mean, was it something about that weekend that just clicked right away with Nebraska?
I mean, it was just like, it just felt real here. Like, it was all love, and I just loved the place when I first got here.
And Justin, you were, a later addition to join the recruiting class a year ago. How did you get on the radar with Nebraska, and kind of tell your story?
Yeah, my older brother Makai, he's on the team, so he played a big part in me making my final decision as well. I know when he got here, he used to tell Coach Frost about me all the time, like everybody else. He used to tell Coach Frost about me, and then when Coach Dawson was actually in Jersey early December, that's how I got in touch with him, and then from there, the rest is history. And actually, Coach Raiola actually coached one of my high school coach's old players, so it was a connection there as well too.
And you could play a lot of positions, but you're on the offensive line. Are you playing center? Are you playing guard? Center. How do you like that? You're playing for a former center now, and Donovan Raiola.
Yeah, the transition has been pretty good so far. I've been connecting with the players and picking the older guys' brains. Especially the centers. To see what it takes to play at Nebraska.
And Heinrich, you're going into your second year at Nebraska, and you're unique in the sense that you lived in Tennessee, then you moved. Were you born in Nebraska, then moved to Tennessee? But your dad played at Nebraska too, right?
Yeah, so I was born in Kearney, and then right after I was born, we moved to Nashville. And then we spent, I think, 10, 12 years in Nashville, and then we moved back up here. Yeah.
And your dad was a fullback at Nebraska, right?
He was.
But the real athlete in your family is your mom.
You could argue that, yeah.
She was a All-American at Oklahoma State.
I don't know All-American, but she was a good athlete. She ran the heptathlon at Oklahoma State.
And you were a track guy too, high jumper. And
I was, yeah. Sophomore year was my last year of track because junior year was COVID, and then senior year I early enrolled here. But track was always kind of my second sport.
Well, guys, you're in the middle of summer workouts. We're about a month away from the start of the season. Just kind of speak as a group. I mean, what's summer like for you, Ajay? You're new to Nebraska. I mean, what's been the adjustment like, and what are your thoughts of just kind of going through the summer workouts and conditioning?
Yeah, coming in every day, I just was looking up to the other guys, coming in as far as working hard every day. So, staying on top of my tasks. So.
For me, it's just wake up in the morning, hit the weights, hit the field with the guys, and then get some film in with Coach Whipple, get my academics out the way, get some food, and then head back to the crib.
Yeah, I could agree with AJ, just watching how the older guys practice and, just watching their mistakes and, just learning from them is a big, important part of, adjusting from high school to college football.
And Heinrich, it's your second year. I mean, what'd you learn in year one, and how'd you take it into year two?
Yeah, there's obviously a lot of changes from year one with the offense. So in a lot of ways, the entire team is starting from scratch again. But a lot of the experiences and the failures from last year, you can take that into year two. But a lot of it is just starting from scratch again.
And, Coach Whipple is new to Nebraska. You were with a different system last year, different quarterback coach a year ago. What do you like about Coach Whipple? He's definitely got kind of he'll say what needs to be said type of approach, and he's got a lot of experience. I mean, what's jumped out about him so far?
Well, yeah, the experience part is one of the things that jumps out. He comes and obviously he's so experienced in the NFL and college, led Pitt back to the ACC championship game last year. Kenny Pickett made him into a first-round draft pick. Worked with the Steelers, worked with the Browns, so just a lot of experience there. But yeah, like you said, he's a guy who's going to say what needs to be said, and he's done that already with the whole offense. I think he's really taking control of the offense as a group, and I think that's what needed to happen.
How much Kenny Pickett have you watched already?
Oh man, we've watched I think every game once or twice. Yeah.
Nah, it's pretty cool watching Kenny and just picking up things off of him. It's really important to us, and he goes into real detail when we're watching film on Kenny, and just actually today just watching the Rams offense and things like that. It's really good for us.
So it's a lot of cut-ups. It's not. I mean, it's all types of NFL type of cut-ups.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's anything from. I think we've watched majority of Pitt and ACC teams to NFL games from last year and cut-ups from even just motions that different NFL teams do.
Have you seen his Tom Brady cut-up before?
Haven't. Actually, he mentioned today that he might have lost that file, so we're not sure.
He showed it, I know at the coach's clinic, and it was like Bill O'Brien gave it to him, but he's got like this like early Tom Brady cut up, so I figured he showed that you guys once or twice. But AJ, for you, what's kind of your impression of the offensive staff, the system, most of your time with that Brian Applewhite, or do you get to talk to Coach Whipple too?
Yeah, I walk by, meet with Coach Applewhite like every other day. We have running back clinics like every other day of the week, just to, get the plays down. I walk by, I stop by Coach Whipple's office. I just sit down, he'll run over to the plays with me, to help out, make sure I'm learning everything. So. And
how about you, Justin?
Yeah, the process with Coach Raiola has been nothing but great. He pushes the O-line hard. He wants the best for us. Him being a new coach here. Kind of like he says, kind of starting from scratch. So we're all kind of learning together and just building a relationship on the O-line together.
When you walked in that lineman room and saw the physical size of some of your future teammates, what was your first reaction when you saw guys like Ben Hard and Teddy? Those are some big human beings.
Like, damn, But me coming in, I'm maybe a little shorter, but I'm gonna work my hardest, just to be on their level someday.
Well, you've got like a mean streak, a physical edge to you. Talk about your style, the way you play, and why did Raiola really want you here?
Well, when I spoke to Coach Raiola, he told me that I reminded him of his brother, and that was kind of big for me because his brother was one of the best players to come out of Nebraska, so that was very important to me. So I know that I can make him proud and just work.
Heinrich, what goes in now to these final few weeks before you start fall camp? This will be a second time around, and so much new with the coaches and stuff. But what's the team doing right now?
Yeah, it's a little different than last year. NCAA is letting the coaches work with us a little bit more on the field. So I think we get 30 minutes twice a week. We just go on the field and do drills and, just like we were doing last year, a lot of player-led stuff, 7-on-7s and stuff like that, and obviously weightlifting all the way through the summer.
And Richard, you went through the spring, so do you kind of feel like you're almost ahead of the curve a little bit, just that you've had that spring and all this time with the coaches?
Yeah, so during the winter camp and spring ball, actually, it was just really a lot learning, a lot of adversity for myself. So when I came back after the break for this summer, I kind of feel like I came back a lot better, a little more experienced, and things are going a lot more smooth.
Ajay, as a newcomer, what is the most overwhelming thing? I mean, it could be outside of football too. I mean, just moving your whole life to Nebraska and coming up here. I mean, what's been the most overwhelming thing for you in the first month or so?
Yeah, I'm just adjusting to the food too. Yeah.
The food?
Yeah, yeah. You know, I got to season everything I touch. So, I mean, as far as that, you know, getting in with the program.
You carry seasoning in your pocket with you?
Yeah.
You do really? I was just kidding. What kind of seasoning?
I use Tony's and I use like Louisiana hot sauce. Yeah.
There's a couple of Louisiana places here. Have you tried any of them yet?
I'm going to like a soul food like this weekend.
Oh, Mary Ellen's.
Yeah,
probably,
that one right there. Yeah.
How about you? What's the biggest difference from New Jersey?
It would be the same thing, you know, but just adjusting from, you know, that fast city life is very different from Nebraska because, you know, New Jersey, New York is very like, you know, fast paced, and here is more like you gotta kind of take it slow, just take everything in. And, you know, that's just, you know, that process of moving like almost halfway across the country.
Did you drive a car down here from home? No. So, yeah, that drive. Did you drive?
Yeah, I actually drove up here to move all my things in, so I had to.
Longest drive you probably made in your life, huh?
Yeah, actually, I drove to Florida a couple times.
Okay.
So.
And did you drive a car up here?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just kind of puts in perspective how far. I mean, was when you made that, when you left home for the last time, was it emotional being a young guy leaving home for the final time? Or?
I mean, kind of getting out, you know, I come from Louisiana, you know, it's hard down there. So, you know, moving into a new life, I think it was better for me. So,
as we continue our conversation here, guys, Heinrich, you know, you've been through 1 year at Nebraska. What advice would you give these three just about, you know, how to approach the first year and maybe the ups and the downs and the mental and the physical tolls that first year of college football can give a guy?
Yeah, you know, I can't speak on the physical tolls yet, but the mental toll is, you know, I've seen in a lot of the guys who started last year, the mental tolls is probably the hardest. You know, sometimes you gotta learn how to be patient but not complacent.
As you guys look at your approach, I mean, who are some of the players right now that you've already started to look up to and lean on, that you're texting at night, you're DMing them, or you're calling them, you're watching them closely just to kind of learn like the approach that you need at Nebraska?
I mean, I kind of just talked to, you know, a few players that's, you know, kind of older than me, just to, you know, make sure I'm on task, you know, make sure I'm doing the right things, you know. I know, like, I can't hang around everybody, but, you know, I'm still talking to some of the players, you know, that's doing the right thing, so to lead me in the right direction.
Running backs or other guys in the offense?
Yeah, it don't just be the running backs. I talk to everybody, like every position, you know, just to make friends too, so.
How about you, Richie?
I probably pick Casey's brain the most, really, because he's really into detail with a lot of our drills and things like that. So if I have any questions, I really just go to him to ask him, and then also, like he said, just tap in with some of the linemen or some of the receivers in that way.
I'm curious, flashback to like last October, the Red River shootouts going on in Dallas, Texas versus Oklahoma. Yeah. Casey Thompson's quarterbacking Texas. You're committed to Nebraska. Did you know who Casey Thompson was? San Antonio's close to Austin.
Yeah, it is. It's like an hour away. So, yeah, growing up, Texas was my team. So watching that game last year and then just finding out that, you know, he's coming to Nebraska, it was just like, it was a shock. It was a little different, but it was cool.
Because, yeah, I mean, you followed most of Texas' season last year, I assume, right?
Right, and like all my life I have, so.
What did you think of him as a quarterback, just following him from afar, watching him before he got to Nebraska?
I thought he was a really good leader, really good. He can run the offense, and he knows what he's doing. And
then, Justin, who do you go to? Who are kind of the people you look at and lean on for advice?
Right now, you know, I've been around, you know, Kevin, Trent, and like Teddy, you know, because those are like kind of some of the first people I talked to when I got here, you know. And Trent being the center, you know, I try to pick his brain as much as I can. And, you know, just watch him doing reps in front of me is pretty good, too.
What do they tell you?
They just really, like, on the field, the best advice they give me is just, you know, just to pay attention to the guys in front of you, you know, work hard. That's pretty much it.
Well, guys, you open up practice in about a month. You're going to Dublin, Ireland for your first college football game. Obviously, Heinrich, you were a part of all the games last year. But, I mean, when did you realize that your first college game at Nebraska is going to be overseas in Dublin, Ireland?
I mean, I've never been out the country, so, For that, I think that'll be a great experience, experience for me. So.
Growing up in the SEC, being in the Big Ten's basically out of the country for you, right? I mean, it's a little different part of the. How about you, Richie? What do you think about that?
Like he said, it's a different experience. It's going to be a really good experience, actually, and then just traveling across the world, basically. So I'm excited for it.
And by the way, you think the food's different, AJ, in Nebraska? I want your full report on the food in Ireland.
Maybe hopefully I can sneak some seasoning in my suitcase.
You're going to bring a lot of stuff in your backpack. How about you, Justin?
I'll say likewise. It's going to be a great experience. It's going to be a great year, so I'm excited.
And Heinrich, you've known about this game because you lived in Nebraska. I mean, but how exciting is it for you to get to go overseas and be a part of this?
Yeah, it's exciting to be able to go across the Atlantic, be able to play, but at the end of the day, it's still a football game. We still got to take care of business over there.
Curious, though, just the quarterback room. I think on the outside, people assume Casey's got the leg up, but there's still competition going on. I mean, just from the outside looking in, or your view on things being there every day, what would you tell Nebraska fans about just the competition in that room and where it's at heading into camp?
I'd say the competition never stops. Even last year, we saw it the year before I got here with Luke and Adrian. It can switch in an instant. There's always going to be competition, and there's, the starter that week is going to be the guy who won that week.
What have you seen, Richard, in the competition in that room already?
I just think we're really competitive in the quarterback room. We all go out there to show that we could play, and everybody wants to play. So.
And AJ, the running back room too. I mean, I don't think you can just say definitively at all who the starter is right now. What do you think of that competition in that room?
Yeah, we all come in and work hard every day. Nobody knows what's what, but everybody still getting reps, working hard against each other. Picking each other up. Every day. So it's a great competition with each one of us. So.
And Justin, the O-line is in the same boat. I mean, there's a lot of, especially on the interior, it feels like there's a lot of parts that are still up in the air.
Yeah, I can agree with what everyone said. Because at the end of the day, like he said, the man who wins is going to start that week. So it's nothing but a competition, and everybody has to work. So you can't. It's no sweating. You just have to put your best foot forward every time.
And finally, guys, you all watched Nebraska play last year at moments, whether it was after the season when you started studying the team or being at every game like Heinrich was last year. What were your thoughts of last year, and what's it going to take to maybe get Nebraska over the hump this year?
Yeah, I got recruited late, so I came back and just watched a couple games. I just looked at the offensive ball side. We lacked, in some places, the defense held down, really great last year. So, I just thought, we put more pieces to the puzzle, so we'll make it happen.
Right, and for me, I think we just got to finish games, and that's part of being disciplined at the end of the day. So I think if we could just finish the game, we'll be right.
Yeah, I agree. We have some great additions coming in with this new class on offense and defense. So I feel like we'll be a great addition to the team, and we'll help the team towards success.
I think last year we saw it in the Michigan game, saw it in the Ohio State game. We're one of the most skilled teams in the country. But at the end of the day, it's our mindset that lost us those games, and really, defense did everything they could, I think, last year to help out the offense, and it's on us and our mindset. I feel like last year we were almost waiting for something bad to happen, and I think that's going to change this year with the new coaching changes.
Well, guys, I appreciate everyone taking the chance to sit down here. I know busy summer for everybody, and looking forward to seeing you guys get to work.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that wraps it up here with our young group of Husker players. For HuskerOnline.com, I'm Sean Callahan.